Hello everyone, welcome to new video. Today I'm going to talk about I got my first warning on the YouTube and it's a really bad experience for me and I will explain you why. Firstly, I'm a small content creator. I have always wanted to live in Japan and I have always wanted to make a girlfriend there, getting married with a Japanese girl and create a new life. But I couldn't do that because of lacking money and lacking friendships and lacking other establishment as well. The main reason why I start YouTube I can explain you basically is I want to make a girlfriend. I want to become famous. I want to gather more followers. Maybe the 100k. And sorry, just dogs are fighting with each other there. I'm so. Oh, are they really fighting? Holy crap! No, they're just playing a game. Maybe I'm not sure. Okay, the one thing is here I want to mention that whenever I'm just starting to making YouTube videos, it's being so hard because you need to just maintain the community guidelines. For example, I have made a video about the Johnny Sins, who is a very famous porn star worldwide. But the thing is, I just used some photos from the browsers, from the porno, from the sex movies. But the YouTube just perceived it as a violence surpassing, and YouTube gave me warnings about what I just published before. And sometimes I cannot understand this. The mostly porn stars, the porn stars, the example stars, and other porn creator and adult movie stars just starting to make a porn podcast on the YouTube, and YouTube allows this kind of things. But while I'm just using some kind of photos, movies, YouTube is trying to ban my account. Just YouTube is trying to give strike to my channel, etc. But I really cannot understand. I am living in an Islamic country, which is Turkey. And from my childhood, I didn't live in a Turkey. The basic reason is the sexuality, the just doing the sex with someone else in the different positions, the missionary positions, dog style positions, the blowjobs, etc. It is forbidden here. And also, I was watching some kind of the dramas, movies on the YouTube, and the other. Just talking about the Canada, for example, I was watching a video from Canada, Muslim guys from Pakistan, Bangladesh, and Turkey, India, and they are going to Canada and they are going to England and they are trying to be a mayor there. For example, I have seen some the kind of the Indian mayors in the England, the Pakistani mayors in the England and the Canada, the Toronto, just like the tour is just ruining the country. I think if you're asking my opinion about Canada, if you're just getting more kind of immigrants and they are just claim that the first nation countries like the Canada, Germany, United States, Japan, and other Germany, or for example, Canada, United States, Germany, England, Japan, sometimes maybe Taiwan. These kind of countries don't give a birth, and that's the reason why when I see a video, when I seen a video in the Canada, the Muslim guy was talking about you guys not making a babies, for example, and the Muslim people just giving a lot of babies in one family, just they are giving to 7 or 6 babies in one family, and their population is growing while the first developed nations the population is decreasing. Well, it is understandable, but also the main idea here is just booming from my perspective. Mostly people live in Islam, they are just don't want to talk about the sexuality and other things, but they are going to non-Muslim countries, which I don't accept it from my childhood. Why are you guys living in non-Muslim countries when you just accept it? The Muslim is very important here. The other things as well. Also, I want to mention the thing is, just I didn't think like I surpassed the YouTube guidelines. And when you just create a YouTube videos, even you use the YouTube platform as a business, your business can be closed, your business can be shut without notice, without any notice. The basic reason for that, YouTube is not your platform, and YouTube is globally belongs to somewhere. It's a publishing platform. At the end, you need to create your own website. Even you like it or don't like it, YouTube can delete your channel. YouTube can give you strikes, etc. But the main idea here is, even you want or not, and sometimes they are the copyright claim. Like, I didn't want to just use a lot of the just like the skins from a movie, from a documentary. I always wanted to just create a documentaries on the YouTube. I also want to be a great interviewer, like the Takashi mentioned that in Japan. But Here the issue is, if I just create a content, if I just use another someone's content on my channel, probably my channel will get the strike, and it is really easy to get strike. And the basic reason that I don't have any editor, and I don't want to deal with this kind of problems. That's the basic reason I am just using this platform as a speaker. It is the is and if you don't want to get the copyright issues and other things, you need to just make a podcast. It is really better. You don't have to use any kind of the museum arts, the graphics, and the photos, the arts, etc. Because everybody is trying to make the money at the end. Why I am just recording YouTube videos? Because I haven't got a date with any girls from my childhood, and that's the basic reason why I start to open a YouTube channel. And I have always wanted to be a little bit famous and just hanging out with girls, going to nightclubs, going to nightlife. I have always wanted to work in night jobs, like being a guardian, or maybe just working as a steward, working as a so how can I say, working in the bar, like etc. But it didn't happen because my friendships, the other friends aren't from there. We are a very poor family class. So even when you are think about the Chinese Communist Party, they are very elite. Like they can do everything for just their maintenance. It is sometimes the YouTube also giving you a shadow ban, corporate crime, warning notice, rule breach, system error, policy misunderstanding, creator violation notice. The basic reason for that, if you, for example, I am from a third class country, which is Turkey, it is really easy to get shadow banned and just getting easily strike, rather than just comparing myself with the other first class nation content creators from the England, United States, Germany, Japan. This kind of people have better views rather than mine, because I have always just maintained the rules, but sometimes they can just surpass the rules. Even I have seen a video from the spam. He was just trying to just freeze their spams on the social media. He was just showing it, and he didn't even get the age restriction. While I got age restriction, the Muslim people trying to obey their rules, but I don't want to accept it. I have always wanted to work in the adult industry, creating my own content on the porno. But whenever I'm just trying to speak about the adulty, whenever I'm just trying to speak about the nudity and the other things on the YouTube platform is giving me a strike, giving me a warning, and I think it is really unfair. If you just someone from England, Germany, Japan, they're talking about sexuality and it's being normal, while I'm just speaking about it's being awkward and it's being extraordinary, I cannot accept it, because we didn't just choose our identification and we didn't choose our religion as well. Yes, there is a ezan sound here, but I don't feel myself this Muslim society. I have said it bunch of times to you. I have always wanted to work in the adult industry. I have always wanted to be a porn star, but I didn't do that. Therefore, I'm so angry with that. From my childhood, I have always wanted to live in Japan, being a famous porn star, and sleeping with a lot of girls there. But it didn't happen. I couldn't even go to the nightclubs, night jobs, and I couldn't meet the girls because the financial constructions and the passport value is very low in Turkey. And I really get bored of this situation. If I'm just going to talk about the sexuality, I couldn't post any kind of video, any kind of photos. But while some other YouTubers can, for example, documentary channels, for example, the Fox News and the other CNBC News and the other, what was their name, the China's Insider and other platforms who are just ruining this kind of business, they can use the kind of adultery content. But if I am just using the adultery content, it's being the shadow ban, it's being the restriction, it's being the flag. Well, if you're talking about red flags, where is the equality? The equality isn't divided well. Some people has more equality than others, and I really against with that. For example, I'm living in Turkey. Nobody is speaking with me because I'm not very handsome. I'm not very rich, and it's being hard to just compete with the other people. And because since I don't have any capital, the only thing what I can do is YouTube. YouTube allows me to do the things in an easy way, rather than just paying attention to any establishment. Because if I want to leave my country in order to go to another country, I need YouTube. I need at least 100 key followers, and and then I will have a chance in order to leave my country, going to Canada and other countries as well. But I have mentioned that we are the immigrant and we are the low developed countries and the first class nations, for example, Japan, Germany, or Canada people, estimating us. The basic reason uh, the culture isn't developed well here. The people believe in Islam and even the Sharia laws. If I go to another country, probably the Muslim people will going to say that we are just protecting Sharia law. Even the Canadian laws, it doesn't even matter. Even the Japanese laws aren't even matter. I think I'm really against this kind of Muslim people, guys. Japan for the Japanese country, German is for the Germans, Canada is for the Canadians. But the other things, the limitations of the countries, the boundaries, haven't been developed well. So if you are just going to 5th century before or the 6th century before, probably there wasn't any country about Canada and China. The China wasn't China 5 centuries before ago, and it was the Ming Dynasty, the Qing Dynasty, Han Dynasty. There wasn't any highness. We are just calling this kind of land as like China. But if we just go to the 5 centuries before, probably we will call this land as Han Dynasty, Han country. The basic reason that the boundaries are changing, but now the boundaries are showing. Japan boundaries is belong to Japanese people. Yeah, we cannot change the history. The history is written already. If you want to change the history, you need to just start a battle. If you just say that Canadian government isn't for the Canadians and Canada is not for the Canadians, you need to start a battle with the Canadian people then, because they are also the past ancestors start a battle for it and they conquered the Canada. I'm not sure whether they are right or not, but it is for the Canadians now. If you want to just say that against, probably you will just perceive it as a crime. You need to start a crime for that. I am just giving a lot of right to the first nationality countries, the members. Australia, the Canada, Germany, they are very right. But the one thing they are just missing is they are not doing babies, and their population is decreasing. Their population is dying. Their population is just getting worse and worse, but they are not doing anything for it. And mostly the Muslim people, the Middle East and the Indian people, just going to first level countries, and they are trying to make more babies than the locals. And then their population in there is changing. For example, Japan, the culture of the Japan is changing. The Japanese culture is dying as well. If you're just getting hire more Chinese people, for example, approximately we have just analyzed there was 1 million Chinese immigrants in Japan. The basic reason for that, they are just changing the Japanese identification, Japanese culture is understandable. But also, I'm just talking about the flags, the red flags. It was an honest mistake. It was an honest mistake, not a violation. The basic reason what I'm going to just give you as a conclusion is, when you start a YouTube channel, your channel can be closed and your old labor can be deleted in one day. That's the reason why you need to create your own website. I'm just trying to make YouTube videos here approximately till I get the 100k followers on the YouTube, and then I will move up to another channel and I will create my own website. I have always watching the documentary videos, documentary vlogs there, but I have realized something. If you just put something to your video from another skin and another YouTuber's video, probably they can just give you a strike. And also, if you talk about about a YouTuber on your platform, they can also just give you a strike. And the distraction, the limitation is really aggressive on the YouTube. If you just use a skin from a movie, you can also get the restrictions. Just getting restrictions just making you worse and worse. But at the end, I just say it to you, YouTube is a platform, and you cannot just do it as a business. And when you just give you 101% to this business, just creating the more YouTube videos, creating bunch of videos and spreading your videos all over the world, talking about the businesses, talking about the stuff, but they can also ban your account without any notice. You need to create your own website. And then after you have created your own website, you need to upload your videos to your website rather than the YouTube. YouTube is a platform. It's not like something like your channel, etc., your website. But at the end, your whole endeavor can be vanished in one day. That's the hardest way on the YouTube and on the social media platform. If you are just running a business and if your channel and if your business shut in a one day, probably you will be sad, right? Nobody will going to be happy about this situation. If your channel is get delayed, you are just giving, but you are putting a lot of effort in order to create a YouTube video, and it's just finding the exact audience for yourself. But even you do your best, it is not just very satisfying for the YouTube and other people. Other people can critique you. Other people can give you a flag for your channel. And other people can complain about your videos. Mostly YouTube doesn't protect their own creators. The mostly people, when they are creating content on the YouTube, they are alone. Whether their contents are getting watched or not, it doesn't even matter. Even just getting the one watch, because we are trying to give a message to society. But the message important, although the main theme important here. The basic reason that, if you're asking my opinion, the message sometimes can be understood in a wrong way. Sometimes they can just exploit the message. There are a bunch of people out there who want to exploit your message and just do indirect violations, the indirect warnings. Here the issue is really hard for myself. Why I start YouTube. Whenever I'm just getting warning on YouTube, just trying to any kind of chance to getting strike, I remember myself why I start YouTube. It's not my first channel. I have created another channel about the game plays, and I was playing a League of Legends. You can also call and you can just give a search on the YouTube. You can write Ensari Ceylan. I was watching the Rayaldor Z Montague, Elastalis Z Montague. I have always addicted to playing the League of Legends, but then I have changed. I am 26 years old anymore, but even I couldn't find any one kind of girlfriend. If you are alone, if you are poor, if you are just like, society will going to expel you from their mainland. If you don't have money, if you are not handsome enough, people will going to underestimate you, and people not going to talk with you. Why I start a YouTube channel? Mostly when you are starting a YouTube channel, people just call you a frag, and you are very how can I say, you are very there was a verse from in English, doomed maybe. You are very freak, and sometimes they are calling you loser, freak, this kind of things. Because guys, we don't have the money in order to create a business. That's the reason why we are creating the YouTube channel, and we are talking about the same stuff. But I still couldn't get it. Why I am just getting the warning. And when I talk about the sexuality, just uploading the videos about the sexuality, talking about the documentary of Johnny Sins, and I am getting banned. I'm getting restrictions. It is not very fair. I just get warned from the YouTube. But I will say the truth. Other adult content creators trying to talk about the sex positions, trying to talk about the other sex, etc. But they are not getting warned, while I'm getting warned. It is not a very fair the things. Everybody talking about the porn. Even they say criticizing the porn industry, but they are watching the porn all around the world. It's a very hard question. I was watching the CNBC News, and they are talking about the sex crimes, and also there was a sex crimes here, who was a guy just trying to exploit the Syrian refugees. And if you just want to get the meal, you need to just give the sex service like that. He was working in a grocery store. I'm not sure, guys. The word, even when you go to another country, Canada and other places, if you are immigrant, you need to, if you don't have the work visa, you will go to the illegal jobs, and it will be shake the country of reputation. But I think the Japan reputation is also don't do it, because Japan's population is getting more money by the OnlyFans, the other adult content creators as well. And it is really hard don't using any kind of photos, images about the sexuality. You need to only talk if you want to just for example depict the sexuality. It's really hard, guys. How can I just depict the sexuality without just using any photo, any kind of image? But it's really hard, brother. If you are 26 years old, if you couldn't find any partner, you need to open a YouTube channel, and you need to talk. Why? Because in order to be a famous, in order to just change your life, in order to go in a better life, better girlfriend, better life expectation, the cost of living is getting worse and worse day by day, and people starting a YouTube channel. The basic reason for that, they want to just show themselves to society. And also, why I start a YouTube channel, because I have always wanted to make a girlfriend, which I couldn't make it till this year, till this today. and I'm a bit of angry about it, and nobody will going to give a shit about it because at the end, even the YouTube doesn't care about you. Everyone is does care. Everyone does care about the money. That's the really sad side of the life. Well, I'm really sad about getting warned, but I want to just talk about the things directly to you. Even you are getting banned by the YouTube platform, it's just something like that. And but sometimes I'm just speaking English, Turkish, and Japanese. But I hope I just committed my message to you directly. If you're just giving any question, you can ask. But I also want to tell my situation here. Yeah, talking about sexuality but showing image is banning reason. Yeah, it is not very fair, but the documentaries, also the CNBC and other news channels, can show documentary photos, documentary based images. But if I just do that, probably I will get warning. It is not equal here. I want to say the truth. I'm sorry. Thank you for watching. Continue. See you on next video.